Hey guys.
Hi.
Does getting married make you richer? Today I want to explore the financial advantages of being married versus being single.
That's right. Now, we absolutely appreciate that marriage is not for everybody, and some
Yeah.
people would just prefer to be single or to just remain in a relationship without having to go through the legal route of getting married. But this video is for you if you are in a loving relationship, you're cohabiting, and you're practically doing the marriage stuff without it actually being a legally binding marriage. And this this video is also for you if you are single but you're thinking of getting into a serious relationship and you're wondering what the benefits are of being married. But this video is not for you, however, if you're watching this video and you're starting to get ideas and thinking, this is a way that you can actually start to make money.
Are you trying to say anyone who's thinking of gold digging is completely ruled out?
Ken really went there. I mean, it's good to just make it very clear.
It's a legit way some people become FI. Some people, they get in there. We see this all the time in the media.
Yeah.
Celebrities, and even non-celebrities, they get in there, they get married for years, they cash out, and life's good.
Point. Divorce is very messy. So if marriage was not on your mind before, but it is now because of the finances, then this video is just not for you.
Do you know what? We want to hear from you guys, actually. We're just laughing about it. This is obviously a casual video, but it's meant to be fun, but serious at the same time. So we want to hear from you guys in the comments. What are your experiences of being married? Has it been good for you financially or not? If you are an unmarried couple, what are your experiences? Are you considering getting married? Is there a financial element, from your experience so far? And also let us know after watching the video your experiences. And finally, of course, if you're single, and this is by no means like a video to make looking single bad, because looking single is great for some people, they prefer it. Jump in the comments as well and let us know what your experiences and thoughts are. And whilst you're there, hit the subscribe button. Show some love if you love the type of videos we're putting out. Shall we start?
All right, let's do it.
All right, so look, financial advantage number one is that of a marriage allowance. Yeah, not a lot of people actually know this exists. This allowance essentially is one where, imagine you've got two people who are in a marriage or a civil partnership, all these things we're going to say relate to that as well. And one person essentially has got a personal allowance that they're not using. Like at the moment, it's £12,570 in the UK. That's your tax-free personal allowance. And one person isn't using it. And their spouse is a basic rate taxpayer earning below £50,000 thereabouts. They can actually elect for their partner to use their personal allowance by up to 10%. They can actually allocate 10% of it. Yeah. So the maths is simple. So you take 12,570, the personal allowance, as at now, or whenever you watch this video, multiply it by 10%. So in that case, 1,257, and then multiply it by 20%, which is the basic rate of tax in the UK. That gives you around £251. In fact, and 40 pence to be exact, in savings that they get saved in a year by actually electing to do this.
That's not bad at all.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Even better than that, couples can actually backdate this. So you can backdate it, I believe, by around 4 years. So if you didn't know about this and you qualify for this, then this is a good way to kind of, get more of your money into your pocket.
Absolutely.
So what's our next one?
So the next one is, just going through our notes so we don't miss anything, sharing assets. So couples who are married can pass assets between each other without the tax man deciding that there's tax to pay. So the advantages of this is that they both get full allowances of their tax.
Okay, let me add to what you're saying there. What you're saying is that the advantage is that they can both fully use up their tax allowances?
Yeah, they can both fully use up their tax allowances. And example of this is, we're talking here personal allowances. So personal allowances for income tax, capital gains tax, dividends allowance, and your savings allowance.
Well, that's amazing. So what you're really saying is that where a couple, let's say they're both working and trying to build wealth, they could become more efficient basically with their wealth building and how they use taxes. So does that mean that by doing that they they don't pay as much tax, or they legally pay a lot less tax.
Yeah, exactly. So when they pass assets between each other, they can do it in an efficient way so that they end up paying less tax as a result, which of course, if you're not married, then you cannot do this. If you did, you will get taxed for that asset that you pass on to your partner.
That's really interesting. It'd be good to hear from you guys. Did you know you could actually do that? You could actually pass assets between you and your married partner, or a partner in a civil partnership. It'd be good to know if you actually knew that. That's a great advantage. Next one is that of inheritance tax. Now, this is one of those things, you get married, is till death do us part, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, from a money perspective, it actually does matter. Yeah, because when it comes to inheritance tax, there's a tax-free allowance of £325,000, and there's also a £175,000 resident nil rate ban. So you add those together, works out to be 500k basically. But the point here is, with people who are married or in a civil partnership, they can pass essentially an unlimited amount of wealth between each other. Like, one person can actually, if that one person passes away, which is inevitable, they can pass that on without there being a tax bill that's due as a result of that happening. Whereas if you've got, an unmarried couple, or obviously a single person, you can't do that naturally. You can't get to do that. But the advantage of doing that is, by passing on those assets, that they also inherit that person's allowance of that 325k and that 175k. They also inherit that, meaning that they, from a generational wealth perspective, they can pass on wealth, more of their wealth to perhaps their children, if they've got children, or perhaps to maybe family members.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, death is inevitable, but people don't want to think about it. And it's one thing, sadly, losing a partner, which is inevitable, but then having to deal with all of this, like, inheritance tax, when it could just be so straightforward. So, and this happens to a number of people, because many people have lost their spouse and they're married, and then they have to worry about all of that.
And also worth mentioning, inheritance tax is levied at 40% of your estate after the tax-free amount. So, and what's interesting about that is that if someone's single, the inheritance tax bill is due for payment in 6 months.
Exactly.
Whilst families, like you mentioned, are dealing with bereavement and stuff, they might I've even known someone to actually sell, like a family member on my mum's side, they've had to go through trying to sell their home in order to pay the bill. The other point about inheritance tax is also around gifts. So gifts trigger potential inheritance tax. They're called potentially exempt transfers, pets. Not like normal pets, but and these pets, or potentially exempt transfers, actually don't exist when it comes to partners gifting stuff to themselves, married couples, that is. Because again, they completely fall outside of the 7-year rule for inheritance tax. So the 7-year rule says, if you give something to somebody and you remain alive for 7 years, that thing you gifted falls outside of your estate for inheritance tax purposes. That's the rule, okay? So for married couples or those in a civil partnership, you don't have that 7-year rule in existence. Whereas for a single person, or people who are not married, who are like cohabiting, living together and stuff, but who are not married, you have that situation to potentially be concerned about, i.e. may trigger a particular tax bill. Right. What's our next financial advantage?
Right. So the next financial advantage is that it is easier to achieve financial independence when you are married. Now, the advantages of being in a married is that you're likely to be more committed to your partner, and also you're likely to have that accountability with each other. You're more likely to want to stay accountable to your other partner, not just make hash splurges or spend recklessly when you have somebody you need to relate back to and talk and discuss your finances together. But
you've got couples who are in a complete utter disaster, by the way. Married couples who completely work against each other from that perspective. Yes. Just to mention that's a possibility.
That is a possibility, I think, though. But when you're married, that you at least try to do things jointly together. You might not be like us and have joint accounts and have like the one income and being in one pot, but there is this unity that you have. And when you have two incomes coming together, you're wealthier from a savings perspective as well.
Yes, obviously, yeah.
So
huge,
there's also that added advantage. And did you want to add to that?
Yeah, no. So you're basically saying that essentially their savings rate is likely to be a lot higher, and we can relate to this because a big part of our journey towards becoming financially independent is that we relied a lot on your income and invested quite a lot of my income.
Yeah.
Essentially, we relied a lot on one person's income and invested the other into stock market and overpaying on our home and stuff like that. Whereas a single person doesn't have that cushion of a second income. They also don't have
exactly. And if you're not married but you're in a relationship, you might be a bit hesitant to want to do that.
Yeah, and obviously there's an acronym out there: double income, no kids; double income with kids, and all those things. But double income obviously makes a difference. But it's worth mentioning, it's very important, that just because you're single does not mean you will not become financially independent. Of course, there are many people who do.
That's true.
In fact, there are many people who exclusively focus on becoming financially independent by being single. I remember coaching this a Japanese young lady, and she was literally, she said to me, my FI journey is just for me. My partner's not interested in becoming financially free. This is just my plan. I'm just doing it just for my own thing. So we're not in any way saying that you being single will not lead to a great outcome. Of course it would. It just requires a lot more planning, a lot more lifestyle management, a lot more saving and investing, being around the right communities. In fact, we've got loads of single people inside of Financial Joy Academy.
Yes,
lots of people in our environment who are on that journey of building wealth. So I just wanted to make that clear.
What's the next one?
And the next one is borrowing power.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an obvious one where a lot of people who watch our channel either trying to buy a home or they already have a home, and with property prices, continually rising in many places in the UK and beyond. And of course, I know there's a lot going on. There's talks of, prices declining somewhat, maybe 5%, maybe 10%, who knows? Either way, property prices are still high, and having that joint income, you don't need to necessarily be married, obviously, for that to exist. But having two incomes, essentially, is what we're saying, gives you much more buying power. Because you're borrowing power, because you're much more likely able to borrow enough to be able to purchase a suitable property. And it also helps from a credit perspective. You might have a situation where one person's credit is not as good, but their partner's credit is actually amazing. And on assessment, it might work out better for them, two people coming together to maybe purchase a home to live in for their marriage or starting a family or whatever they want to do. So. But yeah, there's so much more we could have talked about on this video.
There is a lot more we can talk about, but we just wanted to condense it to these 5 points, and it will be great to hear from you guys. Like Ken said at the start, what are your thoughts on this? Are you married, and what have been the benefits for you? Or are you somebody that's avoiding marriage, or somebody who is avoiding marriage for particular reasons, be it money reasons, financial reasons, I don't know. It'll be great to have a discussion in the chat. Let us know in the comments.
And are you going for the gold digging option? I'm going to put it out there.
Who is actually going to say that they are?
You say that.
Yeah, that
come
is
on, man.
Cool.
I know it's not. I know. Obviously, you shouldn't get married. Marriage.
But each to their own,
Yeah, each to their own. Exactly. Because that's why
that's
we're not. That's why I'm very curious. Because for some people, that's their legit goal. There are guys out there who are looking for that rich woman, and there are women out there. I love that
you said that, guys.
I know. And there are women out there who are looking for that rich guy.
It's a strategy.
It's a strategy, and I know. And obviously, it's not one that we
don't promote.
Please get married for the right reasons, because marriage is not easy.
No,
it's not. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you really enjoyed it, we'd appreciate you supporting our channel by hitting the subscribe button. That just helps our message to get out to so much more people here on the YouTube platform. But other than that, thank you so much for watching today's video, and as always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye.